DonInLondon, hello, it's May 22nd, 2009, coming up to the bank holiday weekend, so 3 days off for many people, but many people also work. Anyway, for me, my video is all about recovery from addiction to substance or behaviour. My substance, alcohol, my behaviour, trying to be perfect, but never so, and always striving for something that maybe you wanted in me, and not really understanding that I didn't know what you wanted, but if I sure worked hard at it, you'd reward me in some way, that is with your presence and your friendship and your love. But it don't really work like that, does it? And when we don't have a true identity which we can say is our own, where we have our choices made in a reasonable way, often we find ways of finding solace, and solace for me was in drink, and sadness as well. So I use drink to be happy, I use drink to be unhappy or sad or isolated or beyond the pale, really, because I couldn't stop. And that was the final few months or years of my drinking. I couldn't stop, no off switch and no way of turning back. I crossed that line wherever it is, and it was very, very difficult. So why do I do these videos? Really just to share my experience, strength and hope on a daily basis of where I can live and the choices I can make. And the reason why I'm able to make any choice at all is by the help of professional, community, society and family and the fellowship of AA. And I think on a daily basis I maintain my sobriety because I am a part of the fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. I cannot speak for it because it's full of unique, authentic people who can speak for themselves, and so there are no spokespersons for AA, but I can sure share my message of experience, strength and hope about how AA helps me. And there is a 12-step action program for individuals, that is 12 steps of action to change our attitudes and behaviour, and 12 traditions which hold the fellowship together. So on the one hand, action for me around open, honest and willing to make the best of this day, and then also the fellowship, unity, service and recovery, to give something back and hopefully help others find sobriety as well. So the fellowship of AA, I go to meetings each and every day if I can, and rarely miss, simply because it's a good way of keeping me calibrated and finding out what normal living is all about. My normal living, quite extraordinary to me, and maybe just joining in where everybody else is on the same page. So at meetings we share this preamble at the beginning so people know why they're there, slow us down into the moment of now and see what we can do. So here is the preamble, shared at every meeting. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And in that last sentence, our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. Is really what it's about, because once we've got it we need to give it away. Or we tend to be selfish, self-obsessed and self-run riot, I suspect, because we need to do something to give it back. Or we just are very selfish people and the whole fellowship would fall apart in no time at all. So I'm glad I'm in the fellowship, and you know there are many who are for it and many against it. And for those who are against it, I really hope that they have an alternative which is working for them. And you know, AA doesn't have to be the only way. I say this from time to time. Although I found that it's worked for me, I haven't found any substitute. Not that I'm looking for one either, because I can remain unique, authentic on my journey of life. And now I know I've got a life. It's my life. It might not be interesting to anybody else, but that's not the point. The point is, it's interesting to me. And I don't know who said it, but somebody attributed it to Freud. I don't know, it's probably something mankind's thought about a lot. 3 elements of life are really important. To be able to love, to be loved, and have something useful to do. So this is part of my usefulness to me and others, I hope. In the programme, 12 steps, 12 months, I'm trying to cover the steps as best I can. And That's not to be gushing and share my innermost secrets here. It's just to give you an outline of how the steps work. And step 5 for May is all about sharing our fearless moral inventory of our assets and liabilities with another human being and with our God, the one you understand, of your understanding, not mine. My God is God works through people, God is truth, and God is linked to my good conscience, and that'll do me for now. And also that higher power thing, the AA group for me. And I guess the only definition of God which works for me is I cannot define God, because to define God means I know as much as God might know. So I'm not it, and that's the most important part. I'm just the same as everybody else, finding out about life and how it can work. But step 5 actually reads, admitted to God, to ourselves and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 12 steps deflate ego. Step 5 is difficult but necessary to sobriety and peace of mind. Confession is an ancient discipline. Without fearless admission of defects, few could stay sober. What do we receive from step 5? Beginning of true kinship with man and God. Lose sense of isolation, receive forgiveness and give it, learn humility, gain honesty and realism about ourselves, necessity for complete honesty, danger of rationalization, how to choose the person in whom we confide. Results are tranquility and consciousness of God, oneness with God, and God and man, and prepares us for following steps, which is the rest of the 12-step program. From the 12 steps and 12 traditions. Yeah, I need my mental joggers, if you like. I can recite the 12 steps for what they mean to me, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is how it works in another person's life as well. So to be on the path of honesty, openness and willingness to change on a daily basis, to meet life challenges, is really important to me. In the daily reflections, a one-page a day book, it says step 1, so it's going back to the beginning, which I like. I use step 1 every day. And it says, when I was drinking, all I could ever think about was I, or me. Such painful obsession of self, such soul sickness, such spiritual selfishness bound me to the bottle for more than half my life. Certainly for me that was true. The journey to find God and to do His will one day at a time began with the first word of the first step, we. There was power in numbers, there was strength in numbers, there was safety in numbers, and for an alcoholic like me, there was a life in numbers. If I had tried to recover alone, I probably would have died. With God and another alcoholic, I have divine purpose in my life. I shall have become a channel for God's healing love. And so if God is truth, God is love, I think I'm on the right path. No, I don't think. I feel. Thinking got me to drinking and kept me there, and feelings and emotions and knowing where I am with them has kept me sober, which is rather remarkable for me. As Bill sees it for today, co-founder of AA, and a collection of thoughts which have come across 40 years of sobriety, I guess, or more. I don't know how long he was sober for. I'm not a follower in that sense. Page 109. Freedom through acceptance. We admitted we couldn't lick alcohol with our remaining resources, and so we accepted the further fact that dependence upon a higher power, if only our AA group, and I have a lot of AA groups I go to, so I'm very reliant, could do this hitherto impossible job. The moment we were able to accept these facts fully, our release from the alcohol compulsion had begun. For most of us, this pair of acceptances had required a lot of exertion to achieve. Our whole treasured philosophy of self-sufficiency had to be cast aside. This had not been done with sheer willpower. It came instead as a result of developing the willingness to accept these new facts of living, that we are powerless over alcohol and life would get unmanageable if we went back for it. And we neither ran nor fought, but accept we did, and then we began to be free. So acceptance in knowing our situation, in recovery, staying in recovery one day at a time, and then the acceptance prayer for me. Serenity. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, that I'm an alcoholic. Courage to change the things I can, that is personally having choices with other people in the day. And the wisdom to know the difference is something I can only learn, just for today and hopefully another day.